AWP. So let's wait and see who wins the knife round and see what team they all pick.
Yeah, I don't do play-by-play of a knife round, but I think Justillo actually killed his own player there for a second. But, I mean, talking about the T-strats then, if you want to go into that for a bit more detail with Team Immunity, I said that I thought they were a bit too predictable on their T side on Cash. Coming up, if they are going to stay on the... they are going to stay on the T side of Dust 2 here. What have they got to do to try and maybe be unpredictable or to catch EnVyUs out to try and take some rounds away off these guys?
Well, most importantly, I think Team EnVyUs could very well come into this game with a little bit of complacency. So, obviously, with so much confidence based off of what happened on Cash. So, Team Immunity, I'd like to see them take it slow, sort of split and pick, make sure there's always someone watching the flank, and wait for EnVyUs to potentially come for them for the first few seconds, see whether that complacency kicks in. If not, then decide to execute.
Well, we are live with round number 1 of the second map between Team EnVyUs and Team Immunity here. Dust 2, it will be 4 players with armor from Team EnVyUs and 4 players from Team Immunity with armor as well as they make their way out towards mid. But Shoxy, oh my gosh, that was a nice starting kill.
Yeah, great P2000 work from Shoxy Jesus. Maybe Jesus himself would have been proud of that shot, and I tell you what, he'll be proud of the rest of these shots as well. Team EnVyUs, great players always.
Well, this is the thing, they're so patient and then suddenly they just completely erupt havoc and domination on the enemy team.
Just one taps to the face. Amazing Counter-Strike.
They make it look so easy. I wish I could do those kind of things in game. This is why I'm a caster and not a player, because I could never even dream of doing those things. But Team EnVyUs, they're looking strong already, and they will reward themselves now with buying a few upgraded weapons. So one FAMAS in the hands of Shoxy, but SMGs all round elsewhere.
You know what they say, Chewy? Practice makes perfect.
But a lot of practice, mate.
Shoxy with the FAMAS. He did spot one of the Aussies heading towards Sniper's Alley, and that Aussie was, in fact, Ricky. The mass majority of the Aussies going towards upper tunnels, now towards lower. And I wonder whether we're going to see maybe potentially a mid to B execute here. But they don't have a smoke for CT spawn, so they could just be taking their time and then maybe put all their eggs in one basket and push straight out of short.
Well, let's see if Kiyoshima pushes through this smoke actually over towards B tunnels. I think he may be wanting to, but they've got that cat control now, and they're going to try and push their way through potentially. Ricky here up on that area, but Shoxy holding down mid very well, will spot one player, and that's the first kill in the round. Now we can see them making their entrance up there. The bomb's not actually there, and I think one player dropped down over towards CT, which was Justillo, but he drops. Kiyoshima takes down James, and Sniper in lower tunnels will try and do some economical damage. Won't happen. 2-0 to EnVyUs.
Yeah, that really was a redundant round for Team Immunity, because Team Immunity, they didn't plant on the first initial round, so normally you'd expect them to go, for example, Tech 9 armor, push somewhere and hope for the best, but they didn't buy up, interestingly enough. And now, again, they've got to settle with pistols, which probably means that come round number 4, where they are going to invest in the big bad weapons that they'll get, they want to invest fully. They want to make sure they've got as many grenades as possible.
Well, that's the Desert
maybe
Eagle
even an AWP.
Down. Yeah. He will fall, but James will drop as well as Smith picks up 2 very easy frags. Well, no, actually, MBK took 1 there, so... Frags all round for the EnVyUs squad, and Ricky, once again now the last one left alive. He's picked up the Deagle, dropped off Imagine, and as I said, he's just going to try and do some economical damage here, which is what they tried to do in the last round, but it will not happen. With 3 rounds in, kinda, and not a single Team EnVyUs player has died.
Nope, and Team EnVyUs, of course, because like you said, they didn't die, they... We'll probably now swap out some of those submachine guns for M4s regardless. And of course, there is the AWP from Ricky, which was what Team Immunity was saving up for. He failed to tag anyone through the doors, but EnVyUs putting 3 people on this smaller B bomb site to start things off. Maybe they were expecting a push straight in.
Shoxy eats a grenade to the face and is knocked down to 35 points of health. As we now see that bomb making its way down towards lower tunnels, playing very passive over towards mid. Kiyoshima just in those double doors over towards B, holding it and peeking around to see what he can find, and we can see the map overview now. Sniper over towards long, just making sure MBK won't push through.
We're normally used to seeing Smiths holding mid, but because of how mid-heavy Team Immunity have been playing, what they're doing is they're holding mid and double doors or B ramp by putting 3 players in B, and then Smiths is going to play the old rattlesnake position from Source, where he hides at the car, waits for the terrorists to push out a short, and then tries to hit his AWP shots as they come across. But look at these beautiful smokes. Hopefully they are going to shield the Aussies, but not on Smith's watch. Great shot with the big green gun.
That was a huge opening kill. As Sniper will get caught out by NBK, who will get the frag. Sniper wins it, and that is big. The bomb has been planted. And what will Team EnVyUs do here to try and retake this site? 3-0 is still the score, but it's 1-for-1 trades left in a 3 versus 3 now. And that bomb is still planted, and it's obviously planted for short here, as we can see this lovely little boost over the top of the smoke here as Ricky actually spotted them. He gets fully flashed up, and somebody's already on the defuse. Have they even noticed it? They will now. He picks off the shot, but will it be enough? The clock is ticking, and that was an absolutely crucial shot for Ricky to take.
Yeah, and Sniper knew that Shoxy was going to pick up that Orc Dragon lore and prevented him from saving it, even over his own dead body. In all honesty, EnVyUs' setup there that round worked very much in Immunity's favor. But regardless, it shows that they've done their homework on this map. The smokes that rained down on the A-bomb site, it covered all the crucial spots. We saw how Smiths had to readjust his position from the car with the AWP. And as a result of losing that round, it now means he doesn't have the big sniper rifle in his hands. It's an all-rifle setup from EnVyUs.
Into the next round, and we do see 2 Galils here, so obviously the economy, even after winning that round, not too great for Team Immunity. They did take a lot of damage, and they don't have any AWPs. Neither do Team EnVyUs, though, here. And that's a good way to come back into it. That was a really important round already, just in the early stages to take, because they lost so many in cash, obviously, and then giving Envy 3 rounds in a row without taking a single kill. They've got to, in some respects, be dejected. So then to take that round and do it so in a really cool way at the end there with that nice sniper shot on the bomb diffuser, that's good for Team Immunity.
This play from EnVyUs is, especially on the CT side, is so passive in comparison to what they're used to. But Osteo is going to wait for them. The pop flash went in towards upper tunnels. The mid to B push will come in, but it's not going to matter. The bomb has been lost in upper tunnels. Shoxy with one, MBK with another. But imagine now in a 1 versus 3, and Chewy, this might be one step too many for the Aussie. He had to even pick up the bomb after that firefight. And it's not going to even matter because Smiths won that 1v1.
And look at their economy now. Absolutely broken, as far down as it can possibly go here, pretty much. They've got nothing on board.
The lack of plants for Immunity, bar that round where they managed to push off short, is one of the reasons why their economy is so low. And on this round here, they're playing only with Glocks because they've got so little money. But honestly, a plant in this case, because they probably will lose the round and get that extra $800 each, would do them such a world of good at this point. Because at this rate, they might even have to force buy Galils, and they'll have a significant lack of nades come the next round.
EnVyUs with a good start, though, as you would expect from them. And let's have a look at their setup here. We've got Shoxy ready to pop flash himself out into mid if needed, which is what he will do now. He peeks around the corner, will not find anybody initially here. One player, which I believe is Kiyoshima, playing passively right at the back of that B-bomb site. Smith here looking over towards short as Kiyo starts things off. That sniper down for the count. This is, of course, just an eco round coming in here for Team Immunity, and it is a hail of gunfire onto those Australian players as Ricker now will fall. Another round for Team EnVyUs here, and they are looking really confident.
It was really similar to what we saw Team Immunity do a lot of the time on Cash on their eco rounds. When you only have those pistols, again, you've got to try and prioritize the plant, and you don't want to end up in 1 versus 1 battle up against a rifle. And unfortunately, with Team Immunity jumping off short and taking on a battle at long 1 by 1, they just fell like flies. So, like I said the buy was going to be tight for them come this round. They've only got Tech 9s, and you know what? They're going to run straight into the crosshair of Kiyoshima. Far too easy. Like you said earlier on, he spent the entire day sleeping, and I bet you what, he's definitely woken up.
They do get 1 frag onto Smith. Happy, not very low, but he's going to take the gunfight anyway. Will fall to the hands of Ricky. Now leaving things in the 3 versus 2, but look at Shoxy on the flank. I think Ricky knows that he's here actually, but he will peek round the corner, get the headshot instantly, and challenges that last player in James as well, who's still alive, but will fall once again to NBK here. So, I mean, this is a difficult one because we want to see Team Immunity do well, but they're just, again, not really trying to reinvent the wheel. It's a lot of standard stuff that they're doing so far, nothing really too crazy, and EnVyUs are reading them like an open book.
Yeah, finally the financial bonus has kicked in for Team Immunity. That's why Ricky has an AWP. I think he should have spotted that 3 cross, and obviously he will call that. But EnVyUs, as we see them do time after time again, they love boosting a player there to catch the mid guys out. And Happy just so quickly getting that frag to leave his team 1 man up. And Team Immunity, they've got to be the ones going aggressive to find the early frag. Because not only does it physically give you that early frag and gives you the numerical advantage, but it can play mind games on you as well. When you invest so much into a round like Team Immunity just did, and you lose not one, but two men so early on, you just find yourself in one heck of a pickle. You just don't know what to do.
Stillo tries to enter things up onto that larger A bomb site as he does pick up one kill there onto Happy, but will it be enough? I'm not too sure. That bomb's still over towards the lower B tunnels area, and I believe Shoxy could be holding a good position just in case once again they do push out through mid, but Smith actually misses a shot, rare for him, but he did spot that player and got some good information. Flash grenade comes out and he jumps over the top of the box to see if he can see just over the top of that smoke as well. But things slow down a tiny bit here.
Yeah, all the Team Immunity players are going to be making their way on towards the A bomb site with just under 30 seconds to go to try and plant this bomb. Smith's the last line of defense. MBK, however, the backup has come in, but Estillo, he got the headshot there. He had one CT underneath him. Maybe if he just wasn't so close to the edge of the bomb site, he may have been able to sneak a plant and maybe even won that round because one of the CTs was so low on HP. But Team Immunity, they're in that situation. The issue was they didn't have enough time to rotate one person round long. When you hit the A bomb site, you want to give the CTs, especially a lone AWPer like that in Smiths, more than one side to worry about. You've got to try and surround him. And when you run towards an AWPer just coming from the same area, then there's only going to be one outcome, especially when that AWPer you're up against is Smiths.
You're still with a nice frag onto Happy with that Tech 9 in hand, but they are severely outclassed in the weaponry in this round. Justillo has been able to pick up that M4 that he dropped away from Happy, but he's not going to be able to do too much here, I reckon. He has got the bomb to try and work with, and he will make his way out of mid, or will he not? He knows that Kiyoshima is right around the corner. They have spotted each other. Now Shoxy comes in to help out his fellow compatriot. Justillo will fall. Once again, another round for EnVyUs. This is just almost too easy.
Well, Team Immunity, they pulled out quite literally the big guns now. They tried the single AWP setup. They couldn't get any frags with it. And now they've resorted to the double AWP setup. James, obviously we don't like to point players out, failing to get a frag just yet. Ricky going for the pick at mid, but he's not even managed to tag one of the EnVyUs players trying to cross. But come on, Immunity, we know what they're capable of, and that is what James is capable of. It's going to be his first frag of the game so far, but here, imagine, he can't afford to give this frag back to MBK. Team Immunity, they've got to use this in their favor, use this man advantage. I want to see him kick on. Come on, let's get your second round on the board, Immunity.
That double AWP setup still going strong initially here, but will it prevail? We will see. As James tries to find some more information, and there we go. It seems so far as MBK gets caught out at long, and now they're going to make their entrance there by the looks of things. Although Smith with a great flash will find one. Will he find the second? No, he will not. We're now left in a 4 versus 2, but it's Happy and Shox to do the damage. Let's see if Team Immunity can make this entrance, but they've actually backtracked, made their way over towards B tunnels, and got through there. Shox is going to try and find some great information, sprays down over towards Imagine, and will find the kill. But I think the game is up here for Team Immunity. Happy and Shox know they're going over towards B. Or do they?
What they've done really well is Sniper's gone onto the A bomb site and he fired at those EnVyUs players at mid. So now Shoxy is ready to hit the A bomb site from short. Happy is rotated all the way to long. And Sniper here, all he has to do is hide behind these boxes, try and hold them here, make EnVyUs think it is going to be an A bomb site plant. And now Shoxy has found out that it is going to be B bomb site plant. Great plant. And to no surprise, it's planted for tunnels. James will head towards tunnels here with the AWP just in case Estillo falls to his death. James will be able to peek out with the AWP and stop the defuse, but still Happy on the AWP, a very difficult retake.
And Shoxy's low, only on 24 points of health, but he makes the entrance anyway, completely uncontested here. James will get that first frag behind the box there, but Shoxy responds. It will not be enough though. They hold on to the site just about. James gets the kill, and Volkanite, even though they took a lot of damage, the double AWP setup worked well. They got those 2 initial entry frags into the round with those AWPs.
Well, when you get the entry frag, you spread out your opponent's defense.
Yeah.
And then as a result of that, they can cover a lot less ground. So for example, one thing Team Immunity did really well there is they knew Smiths was playing long with his AWP, and even though Smiths got a frag with his AWP, what was important for Immunity was that they returned it. And once it's 2 versus 2, once it's 3 versus 3, that actually favors the T. So it was a perfect approach from Team Immunity. And again, a pat on the back to James over towards the B bomb site for getting that first frag.
After winning that last round, they will be able to buy up AK-47s once again here, and Ricky able to retrieve that AWP. Well, James retrieved it for him, obviously, but he picked it up and giving their initial presence over towards Catwalk near A once again here. And we can see the rotation coming in, but look at Kiyoshima's position. He's pushed right through B tunnels. The game is already up here for Team Immunity. They know exactly what is coming simply because Kiyoshima has been able to find so much information.
Exactly, and that's why a player like GetRight in the flanker role, holding on the other side of the map or Happy, is so important. And all of the EnVyUs boys, all the boys in blue, quite literally on the CT side, have rotated round. Sniper now in one heck of a pickle. He's only on 2 HP. And you'd expect MBK to deal with him. And you know what, Chewy? He does. 9-2.
I don't use this term often, but it was target practice there for Team EnVyUs. They knew exactly where they were coming from. It was so obvious what was going to happen, and they just picked them off one by one.
Unfortunately, it was just incorrect fundamentals. And again, it's just why that lurker role, someone preventing the CTs pushing up tunnels on the other side of the map is so important. And it could have been an easy frag for Immunity, you know, because they did have the AK-47s if the CT did push tunnels.
Well, their economy has been reset here, which is exactly the thing they did not want to happen. Shoxy in the right-hand side here will pick up 3. Easy spray down for him. No trouble whatsoever. Team EnVyUs move themselves onto double figures on Dust 2 here. And once again, the Team Immunity money is pretty shocking. They've really not got too much to play with. It looks like they're going to force in some respects, and Deagle Armor on Ricky, a couple of Tech 9s elsewhere, but really, once again, not too much else to play with. EnVyUs steamrolling on Dust 2, just like they did on Cash.
Look at this. Happy going aggressive in lower tunnels with that M4, and he'll definitely know they're there. He'll be calling this to his teammates. The question at hand is James going to be prepared for it? No, he isn't. But at least this other terrorist knew he was there. But again, with only pistols up against a player of Happy's qualities, Chewy, you just can't get them frags onto him when he's got that M4.
And all the best that Team Immunity can hope for here is a bit of economical damage over towards Team EnVyUs, and Smith will fall, but in the grand scheme of things, EnVyUs have got so many rounds on the board here, it's not really going to do too much damage towards them. The sniper drops, and okay, the last one left alive though. Nice 1D onto NBK, and he will pick up an M4 for his troubles. But it's surely just a matter of time before he gets shut down here. And he just knows they're going to be behind him. He's so cautious of this.
At the moment, it's a guessing game. A 2 behind me towards T-Spawn, or a 2 behind me towards Long? Because there, he was just trying to hold out, see if he could get any more frags. And maybe if he had gotten a frag onto the side where there was only one CT, he may have been able to of course, pick up his weapon and run away with it. But it just wasn't meant to be in that case. And the thing is, again, like we mentioned, the lack of a lurker, which was essentially what left Team Immunity in a pickle financially. There, we saw Sniper unfortunately push out along, and he didn't check behind the door and stuff like that. Mistakes like that, Chewy, just little mistakes, especially against EnVyUs, you can't afford to make.
Smith with a great return back onto Ustillo initially after NBK does fall at the start of this 14th round, and James has now managed to get himself into pit here. He did get that entry frag, I do believe, onto NBK over towards Long. And we can see the bomb stacked up in mid initially. Happy going to try and delay things over towards Cap. Flashes his way out and he's rewarded for it. Not only does he pick up the kill, he finds the bomb.
He does. Shoxy with the Kalashnikov at mid. He spotted the Team Immunity player just behind Xbox. He most certainly has, and he's taken his cranium off as well. Ricky fails to land that shot, finally gets one onto Kiyoshima. He's got one more, but he can't get the flick. But this is still 2 versus 1. If James can drop Happy, which he can, he might be able to just about salvage something. The issue here is, we looked at it at the GFINITY desk. Shoxy has an 80-odd+% 1 versus 1 ratio of winning these 1v1s. Can James put an end to that? And he can! 11-3, headshot coming in from James. Shoxy, he had the bomb, he didn't even need to flash and push there, and he just ran into the crosshair of James, who dodged the flash. And Team Immunity, come on, let's make it 11-4.
They've picked up more rounds so far in this half than they did in the first map, so that's an improvement which they can look into. But Team EnVyUs are still looking strong. Great crutch there from James, nice work from him to be able to take down Shox and just lower that 1v1 stat very slightly indeed.
What worries me is the Team EnVyUs player will have spotted Osteel going towards mid, and yeah, Smith was prepared. Shox, like the last round, is going to be the man to hold the double doors, and Happy again on short. It's him versus a jumping scout, and there was always going to be one winner there, and Let's see whether James can clutch yet again. He most certainly is in the mood to do so. He needs to pick up this bomb, though.
This is the sort of thing that Team Immunity need to do. They need a player like James to start fragging these kind of things and trying his very best to put it back in their favour, just to give them some form of motivation. In the end, it's not going to be enough. Smiths will get the final kill, and you can see EnVyUs there, the professionals that they are, just calm, collected, ready to go to finish off this series.
I love how Kiyoshima was just sort of like biting his nails, like
Chilling
without a care in the world. But again, that's what EnVyUs are built on: confidence. They love playing aggressive Counter-Strike, especially constricting their opponents. A very aggressive style of play, very much similar to Virtus Pro.
Plow, yeah. I've done that before. It's not the first time.
This is a good start, though.
Shoxy down. The man who did so good in that pistol round earlier on, and his entry frag gets entry frag back to him, but Happy will respond on to Ustillo and tries to challenge that next player, but he's left on 24 points of health, so he's got to be careful and backs away. Kiyoshima pushing through the smoke. Will he be punished for it by James? Maybe so. The Smiths will fall there, and I think the bomb may have actually dropped.
That was so unlucky. That was so unlucky. But EnVyUs now, they could potentially salvage it, Chewy, but they've got to push it together. They've got to make sure that they outnumber these Team Immunity players, and maybe, here we go, send MBK going through double doors as well.
They know exactly where that bomb is. All players left on the server in this round. MBK finds one. Rikke knows exactly where he is, and Rikke will get tagged down. Happy still left on 24 points of health, so this is still workable here for Team Immunity, and they are playing the clock down, but that's difficult for James. 17 points of health left for him, and this is surely going to be a matter of time before they can try and do something here. There we go. Kiyoshima drops down just when needed to, and MBK will finish things off. So this is the thing with Team EnVyUs. No matter who they're up against, they don't get phased over these kinds of things when the bomb gets dropped down like that. They just reposition and work with it.
It's not just repositioning, it's being incredibly intelligent and great communication as well. So like I said, I wanted to see one more person rotate around double doors, and that's what we saw with MBK. And him rotating around double doors, he acted as a distraction for the guy in CT spawn. So he acted as a distraction for a little bit. The guy who was on B ramp had to fall back to try and stay alive from MBK, and as a result of that, it then allowed Kiyoshima to drop down to CT spawn, and basically they ended up isolating both battles into simple 1 versus 1s. The guy in CT spawn ended up in a 2 versus 1, he was the lone man, and of course he went down, he was outnumbered, and then they took on the B guy 3 versus 1. And Team Immunity, they just got overthrown there in the B bomb site, and again they just didn't have the firepower. Sniper now, he'll pick up this scout, and if he saves it, then happy days.
We did see an aggressive push up mid from Team Immunity from short at the start of this round to try and do some damage, but it wasn't enough, and now Sniper left on 1 HP is going to try and salvage this. Scout running away for his dear life here, but there's actually a player making their way up through the tunnels, and he will be found surely in just a few seconds' time. And there we go, MBK takes off his head. 14-3 is the score. Team EnVyUs looking very strong indeed. And this is the kind of thing for them that is going to be great in the grand scheme of things. With more games to play and these group stages now, you know, continuing on after this game, I think we'll be halfway through this day's gameplay, 3 out of 6 games in total. Team EnVyUs are going to be in a great spot because this has been a relatively easy game. They've not had to play too much, only giving up a couple of rounds, and that just gives them more time to relax and get ready and set up for the next match.
Yeah, try and clear their heads, make sure that they're nice and fresh going into their next game. And as for the CT setup here, pretty standard. Team Immunity, 2 players holding long, but EnVyUs, they had success on the B bomb site last time round. And they're heading and stampeding straight towards the B bomb site. This time round, clattering the CTs in there. It leaves them trying to rotate. Happy hiding behind the wall. Catches the rotator. Might make it a double. He most certainly will. What a player. And now Sniper, the in-game leader, quite simply stuck between a rock and a very, very hard place with that FAMAS. 15-3.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy for Team EnVyUs, and look at the money for Team Immunity. They've got to buy every single thing they can simply because this is not only map point but match point here for Team EnVyUs.
One of the main issues as well, not even here on just on Dust 2, but on Cash as well, Team Immunity, a lot of the time the players, when they find themselves in a situation where they should get a frag, in theory, in a 1 versus 1 battle, for example. Obviously you can't do it every time, but you've got to have a somewhat high success ratio in doing that. The mass majority of the time they end up losing it, and it could be down to the quality aim on these EnVyUs players, which obviously I'm sure most Counter-Strike spectators won't need an introduction to. And I think if anyone's new to the game, then we'll certainly will need an introduction to the Flying Mag 7.
The Flying Mag 7 from Imagine there will do some parting damage to Shoxy, but it may be all she wrote here for the squad. They have planted the bomb of Team EnVyUs and a scout and a Mag 7 to try and retake this, and there we go. Sniper with the sniper in hand to try and do some damage. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Let's not forget he can jump with it, but that bomb is ticking, and he has to go for this. But Team EnVyUs playing this perfectly. They're not even peeking him. And now, look, they probably are going to peek him once the bomb's about to go out, but they're going to peek him together. And there it is, 16-3, the exact same score we saw on Cash.